Hello, and thanks for watching, everyone. I'm Luke, and for our latest reinsurance news video interview, I'm delighted to welcome Shevawn Barder, founder and CEO of AM Specialty Insurance Company, and Darren Powell, CUO of Pinpoint UK. Shevawn, Darren, it's great to see you both, and thanks for sharing some time with me today.
Thanks, Luke. It's a pleasure to be here.
So, Pinpoint UK was founded last year as part of AM Specialty's acquisition of Pinpoint Insurance Solutions. In June, the MGA received full FCA approval to carry out regulated insurance distribution and underwriting activities in the UK. For AM Specialty, Pinpoint UK is a key milestone in the E&S carrier strategy to expand beyond North America. So, against this backdrop, Shevawn and Darren are going to provide some insights into Pinpoint UK's progress and plans post FCA approval as the E&S market continues to experience robust growth. So, to start, congratulations on securing FCA approval. So,
Thank you very much. We are very, very pleased to actually secure that because we know it's not an easy task. And I think that we did it in record time. So we're extremely pleased to be fully authorized.
that's great. So, Darren, we'll start with you. Can you share what this milestone means for Pinpoint and why now was the right time to enter the UK insurance market?
Luke, no, thank you very much for having us. The London market's been something that's been very close to my heart. I've been in the London market my whole career. I think it's a fantastic place to trade. I think the sort of talent pool that we have here, the variety of business we have here, is something really special. So to have the opportunity to really put together a team of exactly what, through all these many years of experience, with the backing of ASIC, was fantastic. And I think for me, what's the right time to start a business? If it's the right business, then you start it. And I think for us, it's selecting quality underwriters with niche books of business that we've been familiar with for many years, with real specialisms that are much harder to replicate. So, this is the start of our journey of building a long-term sustainable business based on, years and years of experience across both, the London team and Simon and Shevawn and the team in Dallas.
Yeah. Okay. And Shevawn, did you want to add anything there?
Yeah, I mean, I would just reiterate that, the London market, that's where I started my career. Simon, my husband and business partner, was an active underwriter at Lloyd's for many years. We have a massive respect for the expertise of the London market and, as a center of excellence. So it's such a thrill for us to really, engage with Darren and launch this platform in the London market.
Yeah, great. Okay, and then staying with you, Shevawn, how does the UK strategy complement or differ from your other operations in other regions? And what makes the UK market a strategic priority?
So, as I mentioned, we really feel the London market is a center of excellence. We feel that there is underwriting expertise in the London market that is truly unique. So it is so exciting for us to be able to create an office and partner with Darren to build a platform in the London market. It really brings a unique set of skills to be able to establish ourselves there. And as Darren mentioned, this is really a long-term play for us. We take a very long-term view with regards to our business strategy. We carefully select the lines of business that we're participating in, and we want to consciously build out niche lines of business that are complementary to themselves and then complementary to our strategy back in Dallas. We have an excess and surplus lines insurance company established in the US market, and to bring that support capacity to, be placed behind Pinpoint, I think is a really unique approach. It means that we have a true commitment in a lot of different ways. And we really believe in, structuring it to be a niche model. We don't want to be everything to everybody. We really want to be methodical and, practical about our approach to the business.
Yeah, that's interesting. Sounds like you have a key focus and idea of the way you want to take it from launch, really, which is great. And I
Yes.
guess one of the other benefits is no legacy, and with advancing AI and technology. So, Darren, I guess for you, what role does technology and data analytics play in your underwriting approach, and how will it differentiate Pinpoint in the UK E&S and specialty space?
Yeah, that is critically important to what we do. If you look at all of our cover holders, they have a limited pool of data. We have a much greater aggregated pool of data. And it's, people talk about data a lot, but how do you really use it? It's one thing to talk about it, but how do you ingest it and how do you play it back? And a big part of our strategy is we're new. The technology is all built on new architecture. It's very flexible. We have a team of 4 developers. We're building our own AI components to those in terms of what we can do with the bordereaux and things that we receive. And it's really exciting. It's an area that's been very close to my heart. I looked to set up a technology company back in the 90s, and back then, the actual underlying technology wasn't there. It is now, and there's so much we can do. And I think that makes our cover holders very loyal to us as well, because they get not just capacity from us, but they get a really strong feedback loop, which helps them react quickly to change things within their own products, and they really value that. So what we've seen so far and what we started trialing, we're really delighted. And I think the fact that we're new, we can be that nimble and flexible. Again, a lot of people look at embedding new technology, but they're doing it on very antiquated architecture. And we're lucky to have started that from scratch and built it in-house.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would just like to add that's so appropriate, and legacy is right. We have no legacy. We have proprietary software that we have built in-house. We have a team of 8 software engineers, and we really have crafted a software platform which will be integral to not only the Dallas office, but will support the London office. So we have a seamless process across both offices. And as a result of that, we can provide our MGAs with a suite of services that really give them support and intelligence. It's giving them the feedback that they need to understand relative to market conditions. So we work with them and we focus on profit incentive, which is key to the success of our platform. So, we do not believe in AI as an underwriting mechanism. We do not do any AI underwriting. We believe in doing, the old-fashioned, make the underwriting decisions that are key to the platform, to the line of business. But we harness software AI, to support and create efficiencies within our business model.
Yeah, great. I suppose it's important to keep that art of underwriting, isn't it? But also use the tools and
Very important.
yeah.
That's why we're in London. We're there for the underwriting expertise, but we can harness, software, AI to really create the efficiencies to streamline the business process.
Yeah. Okay, thanks. And then moving on from technology, I guess, to people, can you speak to your leadership team's experience and how that will shape Pinpoint's culture and market approach?
Well, obviously, we are absolutely thrilled to have Darren spearheading our London platform. Darren comes out of AWAC, active underwriter, incredible London-based pedigree. And, he is able to tap into his long-standing relationships in the London market. And we're very, very pleased to do that. We have also hired Tom Griggs. Tom Griggs comes out of the New Line Syndicate. Again, fantastic expertise, very niche, and he will build out his platform. Darren has other individuals that he has highlighted that we have engaged with that we would like to bring into our team. And we will consciously, as I've mentioned, build out niche lines of business with market experts. So, I really feel absolutely thrilled to have Darren and the other members of the team that will really kind of carefully craft a business platform that is focused on profit and quality.
Great. And then I suppose building on that, Darren, the word crafting specifically, I guess relationships are key in insurance. So how is Pinpoint planning to build its broker relationships in the UK, and what can brokers expect when they work with you?
Well, that's where it all comes from. Really, everything we do is via brokers. That's critical to what we do. The room next door, we've since we started in September, we've had over 500 visitors in just getting a feeling for what we do, what we're going to be offering as we build the platform out. And the response has been excellent. They're looking to deal with people who are responsive, who give good service. All of us have had long-standing relationships in the London market, and so far the responses have been beyond expectations. I think there's a lot of loyalty out there if you can do what you say you're going to do and do it efficiently, and people would much rather have a quick no if something doesn't fit within what we want to do. We've got quite a specific appetite, and to service those brokers in areas that sometimes they're not receiving that same level of service. And we've got a pretty broad spread of broker distribution. We'll have very small family-owned businesses all the way through to the major brokers.
Yeah, and I just like to add, we are really focused on quality and communication and feedback. We can provide data back to the brokers to accelerate the communication process, which I think is wonderful. We love partnering with brokers, and again, we feel that the London market is really unique in terms of the breadth of business that we can look at and really work with a broad range of brokers to build our base there.
Yeah. Great, thanks. And then I guess a little bit of a crystal ball-y question, but what are your growth and expansion goals for the UK over the next 12 to 24 months, and what metrics will you use to measure the success?
So, our metric is profit. We're very focused on profit. We are not a volume play. We don't have any external investment, so we don't have any pressure on us to write for volume. We are completely realistic in terms of our expectations, and we want to engage with underwriters who can partner with us in that profit experience. So, we really believe that with our underwriting team, it is a true partnership and they should be rewarded for their quality. And that really is the metric of, how we will measure ourselves. We don't want to be writing huge amounts of income. We really look at ourselves as almost a golden nugget where, we want to focus on long-term building quality. We're not in a hurry. We don't need to write huge amounts of business. And we really want to create a sustainable model that will withstand market cycles and, last. The whole key to the insurance industry is, the traction looks after itself. Once you get the message across about what you're looking for and your level of professionalism, people gravitate towards that. And that's really what we're about. We're not in a hurry. We believe in hiring high levels of expertise, people that want to come in and work with us and build something for the future.
Yeah. No, great.
Can I just add to that? I think we've got an interesting proposition that we're both an MGA and a carrier. So whilst we write business on behalf of our parent company ASIC in the US, we also write business on behalf of third-party insurers as well in the London market. And again, we partner up with people for the long term, where they share in that profitability just as we do ourselves. I think that's something where we've got skin in the game in everything that we do.
Yeah, great.
Yeah, we're really willing to eat our own cooking. So where we might not necessarily have the bandwidth in terms of the surplus to, absorb all of it, we want to engage with long-term players on the reinsurance side. We're happy to share the profit, but we are also willing to take the risk to build the quality and then engage with the reinsurance to come and support us.
Yeah, great. Thanks, Shevawn. And then to end, we're going to look ahead. How do you see the reinsurance landscape evolving in the UK? And how does Pinpoint intend to remain adaptive and relevant as market dynamics shift? Darren, if we start with you.
Yes, it's a really good question because reinsurers. I think all of us have been both insurers and reinsurers through our career, and that market's something I've been heavily involved in for at least the last 20 years. And again, I think when I look at what we're trying to do, we're looking at books of business that are less susceptible to market cycles, and they're less dependent on reinsurance from a sort of cat or volatility perspective. So again, it's more about partnerships. We're looking for long-term capacity partnerships, both on the insurance and the reinsurance side. And I think when people look at the books of business and they look at the history of what we're trying to do, we're somewhat shielded. You're never completely away from that, but somewhat shielded for the, from the cycles of that market. We're off to Monte Carlo in September. It'll be interesting to hear what the messaging is from there. Obviously, a lot of things are dominated by cat, but I think we almost run under the radar with books of business that people can commit to for a very long period of time.
Yeah, I would really support Darren in that. We have structured a model pretty much to avoid nat cat, and we really believe that our biggest job outside of underwriting the business and the monitoring of the business is really key to that process. And our company is set up around that. And, the proprietary software goes in and supports that concept. So it's really about, monitoring, tracking the business, making sure it benchmarks to our expectations. And then really, to me, it's about expertise and depth of relationships, and really partnering with people that are outstanding practitioners in the market. And I think that we have really achieved that with Darren, with Tom, and we will secure that with the other people that we engage with as we build out the Pinpoint office.
Great. That's great. Thanks a lot, guys. That was really insightful. And it's really good to hear about the plans you have for Pinpoint. And yeah, once again, congratulations on the FCA approval and good luck.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure.
Yeah, thank you, Luke.
Thanks, guys.